You are listening to the Postcast presented by the Locked On Senators podcast following a 3-2 overtime victory against the Edmonton Oilers. I'm Ross Levitan. With me, recurring guest on the Postcast at Lalim's Martian. Pilsy's going to try to hop on. He's in a little bit of a traffic trouble, but we're going to see if we can get Pilsy on in just a moment. Martian, this is one of those games that's great for our brand, the Timmy Süperstar brand. He certainly came, saw, and conquered tonight.
Did he ever? Gotta love to see it from Timmy tonight, coming out with the big fight. You gotta think that maybe that was something that was on his bucket list. You know, like this year, sophomore season, Brady Tkachuk, my role model slash friend slash teammate. I'm going to try to play like him, and I'm going to get the first fight out of the way. And oh boy, did he ever. He even popped his cherry. So you love to see that. And then also the skill was on display tonight. And you could hear it in the voice of Louis DeBrusque, who was on the broadcast tonight. He was really excited watching Tim Stutzle. It reminded me a lot of when Ray Ferraro was watching him.
World Juniors?
Juniors, where you could just tell this guy did not realize what kind of show he was about to get. And Tim Stutzle came out, and he did exactly that. One-upping his fellow German.
Yes. Draisaitl, a couple good chances, but Stutzle clearly more noticeable. Pilsy will be joining us soon. I know everyone
Where's Pilsy?
I mean, I'm asking the same question. The
guy's
phone was off. I was like, dude, is this guy all right? Jesus. He'll come on, tell us what's going on with him. But he caught up on what was an unbelievable game. And yes, we've got this stat as well. Weavy in the chat. Boom, I got a little graphic for that as well. Tim Stutzle, the first player in franchise history with a fight and an overtime game-winning goal in the same game. And if you go to Twitter right now at Senators, oh boy, they just posted 3 photos of Stutzle's celly. It is unreal, especially the one where you just see a dejected Nurse looking like, how did that go in? And Mikko Koskinen just, I don't know what else he could have done. Like, there was not much room there. And Tim Stutzle puts it short side upstairs. I think Sens fans can feel some sympathy as Darnell Nurse was going on 2-minute shift, as Sens fans know that all too well with Thomas Chabot. But let's do this a little chronologically. We will get to the big story, which was Tim Stutzle, but another great story. And this started early in the game and continued throughout. How about some stick taps for Matt Murray, Martian? Jeez, what a game.
Yeah, you said it. 36 saves, huge night from Matt Murray. And you said it again, from start to finish, he was fantastic. And there was a couple breakaways in the second period, a lot of really high danger chances. And, the two goal, let's keep it chronological. But the first goal, I mean, that's the best goal scorer, or my best player maybe to ever play the game, Connor McDavid. So, Matt Murray obviously had an amazing game tonight.
Another crucial moment, just like it was on Saturday, was with 4 minutes left in the second period. The Senators get a power play. Their power play had not produced a goal in some time, but it certainly came through clutch, and it was the second unit. Nick Paul on the rebound, puts Ottawa up 2-1. And you mentioned McDavid. He had a chance the other way right after where it was like a seam pass, and it just skipped over his stick, because the Senators' record when leading after 2 versus when they're either tied or losing, it's not even close. At home, when they're leading after 2 periods, they're 6-1. They're overall now, they're 7-1, and overall 12-1-1, whereas they only have 2 wins in 25 games when they're trailing or tied after 2 periods, including 0 in 11 attempts on home ice. So is that your TSN turning point, for lack of a better word, that Nick Paul goal?
Yeah, it has to be. And that backhand shot, that we've seen that a couple times this season out of Nick Paul like that. But you got to think that was definitely the game plan of the Oilers, where they said, if we come out ahead or tied after 2 periods, these guys don't have a very good record when that's the case. So if we can get them to that point, we can come back and win, or we can win. But Ottawa is a different team these days. They're playing to their identity a lot more, I would say, now that, and everyone, we haven't even mentioned that they're missing their 2 best players probably.
They're having a great time up there though, eh?
Pardon?
Hey, the boys who aren't playing were having fun in the box there. You saw Pinto, Norris, Batherson, Hetherington, Sabrin all hanging out.
Munching on some popcorn. I saw that Josh Norris was having a couple of nibbles of the popcorn there. So that was pretty funny. Yeah.
We needed to get We
The
needed to
vibes
get the
are good all
reaction
over.
shot. We needed the reaction shot after the game-winning goal, though. I bet they were buzzing.
Wouldn't that be great to see? I wonder if they are, because they didn't show that at all. So yeah, usually they try to stay stoic up there. You know, they got to try to keep their composure, stay cool looking. But I don't know. I think our Sens, yeah, these guys, they might be partying up there for sure.
So the Senators get the 3-2 win on home ice. They're outshot 39-31, but Matt Murray now with points in 6 straight starts. That in itself is a win enough. But when you have Josh Norris out of the lineup, even Dylan Gambrell, just the center depth has been so tested. Colin White, Shane Pinto, they've been out for longer, though. What he's done to step up into this number one, uncontested number one role, since he's turned 20 years old, the numbers are just jumping off the page. He's getting so many touches through neutral ice. He's using his physicality and his passion. And now let's get into his fight, because he takes on William Lagesson, a number 5'6" defenseman.
Who?
And the takes were going rampant. That's the same part of the ice where Brady Tkachuk had his first fight against Detroit. Remember?
Yeah, that's also where Brady. I thought you were going to say that's where Brady Tkachuk fought Shea Weber, which I thought was another coming of age fight for him. But those behind the net fights, yeah. I did not see that coming in a million years out of that guy, Tim Stutzle. I never thought I'd ever see him drop the gloves. And if he did, I would be worried that we were going to have an Alex Semin situation. Because he doesn't look like the kind of guy or act like the kind of guy who would ever get mad enough or even have the technique to get into a fight. And you mentioned he's on a rampant scoring pace. Ross, he's been robbed of a few points. I don't know if you remember a few nights ago where, you know, it was his shot and it like went up the crossbar and then someone else got, or it was, you know, he's kind of, there's a couple different chances in the last few nights where he could come away with multiple point nights where he's not actually getting the point added to his totals, but he is all over it. And he's definitely been a different player, especially I think since Norris has been gone. But you're right. I think him turning 20 was the milestone for sure.
Absolutely. We're about to bring on Brandon Pillar. Pillsy, of course.
Hey, he's here
in BC. We'll do that in just 1 second. I want to give some credit to Patrick Woodbury. He works with Ledouat. Look at this in-action photo from the scrap for Tim Stutzle. Oh, mid-game. But, hey, look at that one. And then I'm only going to pull up one of the three here, although there is a great response to this one as well. Oh, man. Timmy is so fired up after this goal. Everyone, open another tab on your internet. Go to Twitter. I'm going to pull up one of the photos right now. I've got it saved right here of the celebration after the overtime winner. It is absolutely electric. Look at that. One knee down, just having an absolute time. What a game. Without further ado, the co-host of the Locked On Senators podcast from the left coast, Pillsy, we're absolutely buzzing after that one. I don't know if you saw this. The first player in franchise history with a fight and an overtime game winner in the same one.
What a legend, Tim Stutzle. Am I coming through here, guys? I'm out in the middle of nowhere. All right, sweet.
Give the town a shout out. Where are you?
Port Alberni, just off Tofino. There was a rock slide, so I was stuck in random ass place for 4 straight hours while the Sens game is going on. This is the Brady Tkachuk signing all over again, Ross. I had no clue. I was living in a world where Tim Stutzle did not get in a fight and had not scored an OT winner yet. But here we go. I told you it was going to be 3-2 in overtime for the Sens if they won on today's show. And look at that. I mean, man, I'm glad I got to see that picture of Timmy getting his nose busted in and then selling. Like, what a night for the young German superstar.
Oh, it's unreal. Great for the brand, we were saying as well. Timmy comes through clutch. Yes. And I want to pull up the numbers here since he's turned 20 years old, because it's been just a completely different player. And I still think he's got 2 goals tonight. We didn't even touch on that first goal. Did he not bat that out of the air right in front of the crease?
He didn't. No, that's what I'm saying. He's getting points taken away from him. Yeah, it's like
Stanford deserved the point there. He took one in the pills on the initial shot.
It came off Koskinen's blocker. It looked like it looked like Stutzle kind of let it drop and then took it, but he didn't actually end up touching it. So, thus, only 1 goal.
So 6 points in 9 games for Tim Stutzle since turning 20 years old.
Huge.
Pillsy, everyone's chirping you for your parlays of the day never hit, but if you had put money on a 3-2 OT win for the Sens, you might not have to deal with rock slides because you'd be taking PJs everywhere you go.
Yeah, hey, that'd be nice. That's the way to do it on the island, that's for sure. But yeah, I think I'm gonna be done with parlays here, and we're gonna shift to a different focus with betonline.ag. But guys, I want to get, maybe I missed your recap of everything so far. I saw that Nick Paul scored. That got me fired up as well. Thomas Chabot scored. And then Timmy gets the game winner. And did McDavid have a point, or did the Sens hold him pointless again?
He scored a goal. And hey, Matt Murray was unreal. 2 breakaway saves in the second period, one on Zach Hyman and the other one on Connor McDavid. So, man, this game doesn't even get to the third period with a 2-1 lead if it's not for the play of Matt Murray.
Yeah, and thanks to Leams Martian for all the great clips. I was, as soon as I got service, I'm frantically trying to catch up with the game. Of course, I had to go to @Leams Martian, which you all should as well. And yeah, Matt Murray made a bunch of good saves, and it seems like the Oilers, what was the final shots? I saw he had like over 30 saves, and it seemed like that's huge. And for Matt Murray to continue this strong play and to do it up against the Oilers again, like, this guy's really starting to show what he's got in a much longer stretch. Before we had to put an asterisk, short sample size, but he's starting to play consistent. He hasn't had a stinker in a while, and he hasn't had a weird injury pop up. No skinny kid syndrome, Levitan Martian. He's been doing better with that. So you'll love to see that from a goalie-friendly show.
Absolutely. Now, I think I know the answer to this question, but I'm going to ask it anyways. Pilsy, I want to go to you first. Who do you start tomorrow on Long Island? It's the last game for a full week.
Put the conservatism away for now, Pilsy.
I know. Yeah, I got to dial it back. I'm going Forsberg. I don't like the idea of back-to-backs unless it's necessary, especially with the goal. Like, imagine Matt Murray's finally clicking. He's finally healthy, and then you put him in a back-to-back and something goes wrong, right? So, Ross, I'm sorry to be a damper. I would love to see it happen, but if you're asking me personally, I give this one to Forsberg tomorrow.
4-0-2 is Matt Murray in his last 6 games. I made it 940 save percentage. I didn't have time to do the exact. He was 937 before tonight, and then his save percentage in tonight's game would have bumped it up because it was 949. So I think 940 is a nice even number here. Not math guys on Locked On Senators, but the number looks great no matter how you slice it. This game, though, it was just a fun watch. Like, both teams were battling up and down the ice. There was some physicality. Everyone in the comments making sure to mention Alex Formenton getting in the grill of Ryan Nugent-Hopkins a pair of times, giving him a little wink as well, which you'll love to see. Now, we even got to see a top line at one point. So, Pilsy, the Senators won this game, and at one point in the third period, so Timmy gets the fighting major, he's out, their top line was Tkachuk, Tierney, and Sokolov.
Oh, my God. Who would have thought that at the start of this season? I mean, Chris Tierney, #1 center. What?
Yep. Well, they did it right now. So, hey, since New Year's, this is just unreal. And Patrick Weldon making it mention too. Like 4-0-2 for Matt Murray, but also, and Everyday Sens, who's also a great follow on Twitter. He had a good stat about both Matt Murray and Anton Forsberg as well, because they both struggled in the start of the season. Before December 2nd, 13 games played for Murray and Forsberg, a 1-9 record with an .882 save percentage. Since then, in 18 games, they've got 10 wins and a save percentage over .925. So clearly the goaltending starting to come up, and the penalty killing. It wouldn't be a postcast right now without talking about the penalty killing, because this team, what is it? 48 out of 52 penalty kills in their last 18 games.
Ridiculous.
And they just shut down McDavid in 2 of those games. Like, their power play, they went 0-for-3. Edmonton did tonight. And like, there weren't even that many dangerous chances.
And they're doing it now without Connor Brown, right? Like, Connor Brown's not.
And Nikita Zaitsev.
Yeah. Well, also
no Dylan Gambrell either, your boy.
I think Dylan Gambrell is also a great penalty killer, but that just shows you the tenacity of the guys that they have on the roster. Like, you can put almost any forward in the penalty kill, and I would be comfortable unless it's Adam Gaudette. Like, that's basically. I can't think of another guy who I would like be a little more hesitant with, but like, they all play hard and fast, and they can steal pucks from you at any given time because of the way that they play. Like, there's no passengers right now on the forward group. I don't feel like.
No, it's a hell of a team right now, and what they're doing, so shorthanded, just makes it all that much more impressive. Patrick mentioning as well, I need to do a better job here pulling up the comments. We appreciate everyone joining us in the postcast. We've got near record number of people here. We've just set a weekly record once again for most downloads in a single week. We want to keep that rolling. By far the biggest month on Locked On Senators. And the games are going to come fast and furious now. Oh, but we do get a deep breath for All-Star Weekend. So that'll be a nice time. I wonder if Brady ends up going, because if he's dealing with bumps and bruises, like, what? Come on. Like, at that point.
Yeah, but how hard on the body can it be that way? You know, I mean, he's going to be in Vegas, so his body's going to be taking abuse.
You're just kissing babies at the All-Star game. It's not
that's fair.
I mean, like I was going to say, he's going to be abusing his body just in a different way. It's not going to be physically abusing it. I definitely think that Brady Tkachuk, of all people's liver, is probably going to take a bit of a hit, because that guy likes to party and he likes to get out with the boys, and those guys are going to be doing that for sure in that city.
Wait a second, guys, check this out. It was just pointed out at Senators Session on Twitter, that photo we pulled up of the goal with Tim Stutzle. Look at the guy in the toque behind the net. That's
Batherson.
That's Drake Batherson behind the net.
Yeah, okay, I thought so.
For the game winner. Because you can see somebody has a jersey out that they're getting him to sign.
Yeah.
And the red goal, that's unreal.
That's unreal. The goal light is lit up, so it makes him look like he's got a red face painted. Yep.
Man, the boys get a big overtime win tonight. Hey, let's do some Sen Central standouts, and I feel like we're going to be repetitive, at least for the first time around, because two guys stole the show tonight. But we got enough to go around the horn twice. I think it's my turn to lead us off. Is it not?
I think so.
You start.
I was so hard. And before we get to it, I was going to say I was so hard on Matt Murray before when he was having his struggles. And now I have to give him first Sen Central standout of the night. And we talked about the two breakaway saves, game-changing saves in this one on Zach Hyman. So Zach Hyman goes backhand, and Murray stays with him. His legs were kicking out left, right, and center. Can you kick out center? Maybe. Michael Burdine, remember that goal? He kicked it. Anyways, he was kicking him out left and right throughout this game. And I thought his rebound control was better too. There were a couple times in the third period where it hit his glove and bounced out. But beyond that, man, this guy was just unreal. So you love to see that tonight. Before we get to your Sen Central citizens, maybe standouts, maybe we lead into it. Who gets the bike helmet today? Does Austin Watson give it right back to Timmy? Could he be the first 3-time winner of the bike helmet?
Like, oh man, it's such a hard call tonight. I'm honestly, I don't know. I think that Matt Murray definitely deserves it too. So, I mean, between those two guys, you got two great choices. And Timmy with the blood, like, he's got the stitches in his eye too. Yeah. Why not give it back to him? Let's pump this guy's tires and get him even more confident, because the way he's playing right now, it's actually not a bad segue into my standout, because it's going to be him if I'm next. I don't know.
Yeah,
I did what I mean. I was more available for the game. So.
I was gonna say Pillsy gets our bike helmet tonight for making it to the Postcast.
I was gonna say too. Yeah, like that's dedication.
Doing what I can.
That's Iron Man stuff right there from Pillsy. So you're the Keith Yandel of the team here.
Yep. Hit us up with why is it Tim Stutzle tonight? In case anybody's been living under a rock.
Yeah, I mean, look at the box score if you haven't seen it. The first NHL fight basically caused the first goal. I don't know how he didn't. I mean, he stopped a goal at one end and then I thought he ended up scoring, but it was Shabbat's goal. So another great play out of him there. And then, of course, obviously, the overtime winner is just like that's a pure superstar move. And just the way that he's now starting to establish himself as an offensive threat every time he's on the ice. I said it last postcast how he can take over a shift. We're starting to get into the territory now where like he can take over a game. And he totally outshone his countryman and Leon Draisaitl tonight. And I think that, this was a game that he had circled on his schedule as like another game against his buddy Leon. And they're not going to be able to go to the Olympics together. So I think he wants to show Leon one more time here this season what he's got. And that's what he did. So I'm really happy with his game tonight. So Tim Stutzle is my standout.
Guys, Connor McDavid played 25 minutes and 15 seconds in this game. Leon Draisaitl played 24 minutes and 42 seconds. Only the 1 point. 11 shots on goal for the two of them. So when you hold those two on that much ice time, I think that's pretty impressive if you're the Ottawa Senators. Pillsy, your Sen Central standout. Do you want to take a pass? I mean, we know you're in the rock slide. We appreciate you jumping on. We can go back and forth, but hey, there's one more easy pickings one, and it's number 72 on defense.
Yeah, I mean, that was one I was going to look at. And for the bike helmet guys, I guess who had it last? Was it Holden?
Well, they gave it a Waddy for the 3-year sobriety, and he had a couple
Waddy.
big blocks.
Yeah, so he might do the Murr. I know you're back, but I got to give it to Timmy because
Yeah,
a fight and an overtime winner, you got to respect that. That's for sure.
especially Watson. Watson loves the scrappers.
Yeah, definitely. And Watson can appreciate getting punched in the nose and having to finish the rest of the game.
Pilsy, he went to the locker room for repairs too.
Oh man,
Yeah,
Timmy,
what
I know. I saw you in a cut there. I don't know what. I don't want to see Timmy bleeding. Nobody makes our superstar bleed his own blood.
What a shame that he didn't get an assist though tonight for the Gordie Howe. Like Tim Stutzle Gordie Howe hat trick. I mean,
they got to call the league. They got to call the league there for sure.
Yeah, we got to figure something out.
Yeah. So for my Send Central standout, I guess I'll ask it more of a question. How did Brandy do tonight? Because I was hoping he would have a big game. Was he with Shabbat all night? How did that go? Since you guys shouted out Shabbat already.
I just had to take care of something in the chat. We got some spam coming in.
Some fun stuff.
Yeah, I saw that too. I wasn't sure if that was
I had to
just
take
me.
care of that real quick. By the way, 10th win in the Postcast era. The Sens are 10, 6, and 3 since we started doing this. So not to take credit for it, but I'm not taking credit for it as well.
The stats are right there, Ross.
Everyone make sure go follow at Laleem's Martian, at Brandon Pillar 1. You can follow me at Ross Levitan and the show at Send Central. Locked On Senders is free and available wherever you download your podcast Monday to Friday. Danny writes in, when are we getting a Sens player on the Postcast? That might be tough to do. We're worrying about getting them on the Locked On Senders podcast, yes. And we are working on a big one, but I teased it too much last time. It fell through when Sens all got COVID, but we got a big fish, hopefully, for episode 500, which is in 16 episodes. Pilsy, you asked how Eric Brandstrom played tonight. Well, he played a lot, which I like to see. He started the game on the third pair with Josh Brown, but then from the start of the second period on was with Thomas Chabot again. So I don't think that's as much a negative about Lassie Thompson, who really didn't play much at all in this game. 10 minutes and 50 seconds for Lassie Thompson. And then Josh Brown only played 14:48. They relied on that top four. Zub, 24-40. Holden, 20-44. Brandstrom, 23-22.
Nice.
The King Daddy topper, Thomas Chabot, 26-41. 2-point game, 3 hits, a shot on goal, and just controlled the pace of play as well. Something interesting, Martian, I want you to pick up on this. In overtime, often the Sens just go Chabot, one other guy, and then back to Chabot. They used 3 defensemen today in overtime. Do you think that helped get the wheels flowing and guys aren't logging too many? Like we saw Darnell Nurse at the end of a shift. He gets walked by Timmy, and it's game, set, match.
Yeah, I think it's similar to a power play too, right? Where you want to have guys out there who are like familiar with how they roll. And the 3-on-3 now is completely different, the way that they operate, right? Like they're coming out of the zone. It's a possession game. You hear them even on the broadcast calling it possessions in overtime. So having a guy like Thomas Chabot is extremely important because he is a facilitator and he is a puck handling defenseman who can get the puck to the open guy every single time without fail. The guy doesn't give the puck away, and especially not in 3-on-3. So yes, to answer your question, I think it's good for him to have his legs going and to feel like, he's not getting cold out there. There's only so much time left in the game. That it's only going to be maximum 5 minutes. So let him empty the tank and get the win. And that's exactly what they did.
The Ottawa Senators, man, what more can you say about the way this team's been playing under DJ Smith with all the adversity? I really got to give some stick taps as my final thoughts of this postcast. Again, we're going to have more on tomorrow's Locked On Senders full breakdown. Pilsy will get immersed into the game and we'll break it all down. We've also got a lot more to get into across the league. And it's a Senators game day once again. Ottawa goes into the All-Star break on Long Island, breaking in the new arena out there. It'll be their first visit to old friend JG Pajot on Long Island, as he's made an appearance or two now in Ottawa, but now they'll go there. Cody Ceci, by the way, getting a video tribute. That was kind of weird tonight.
Cody Ceci got a tribute?
Yeah.
Pilsy, listen to this.
God. What did they show the highlight of when he couldn't defend against a player with no stick? Was that on there?
No, they didn't show that one. But get this. Okay, Ian Mendes tweeted it out earlier, so this is courtesy of him. But Cody Ceci has not played in Ottawa since he was traded.
Yeah, isn't that
So
weird?
even when he was time with the Leafs, he played away games, or I guess for him they were home games, and same thing with Edmonton, but he was never in the lineup in Ottawa. So this was his first time back at the CTC. How crazy is that?
That's very crazy. And too bad the fans weren't there for a standing ovation during his tribute. Damn.
You see what Young's 500 fans, and the Sens actually had some fun with it. The Sens put up a thing saying congrats, like sell out.
Yeah,
500
I did
fans.
see that. Yeah.
I thought that
Young-
was actually
That's
kind of
huge
funny.
for them.
People were
You
ragging
see,
on it, but-
you
Hey,
see
why
what
not
Young
lean into
Zachary
that?
put in the Cody CC tribute. They showed him working out like half the time.
Yeah, that's what he's known for.
This guy tried hard. But hey, this is awesome. Hey, did you see Alex Kidd, like small world? Alex Kidd writes in, Pilsy, what are you doing in Port Alberni? I used to live out there for 2 years.
Well,
So
I'm
it's
not
awesome.
in Port Alberni on purpose. I'm going from Tofino to Comox, but had to pull over to get in on the postcast.
That's awesome. Well, let's wrap up the postcast with some final thoughts. I'll run through the scoring summary while you guys collect those final opinions, and then we'll save some for tomorrow's Locked On Senders. Hey, if you guys are in the chat right now, there's 136 of you, and we appreciate each and every one of you. And we'd appreciate it if you just hit that like button just once. Bang, click. It's free. Totally free. That's all you got to do. Like. Nice. All right. Scoring summary. So the Ottawa Senators score first in this game, 11:32 in. Thomas Chabot gets credit for his third of the year. Assists go to Brady Tkachuk and Zach Sanford. Didn't last long. Not even a minute later, Connor McDavid gets his 22nd goal of the year. Bouchard, Yamamoto get the assists. It's tied at 1 after 1. In the second, the only goal comes with just under 3 minutes left. It's Nick Paul. Yes, he does it all, even on the power play. Assists go to Eric Brandstrom and Chris Tierney, who don't ask the Sportsnet broadcast, or they'll tell you Tierney put in the back of the net. It was clearly Nick Paul. Backhand.
They both thought it was.
I know. Unreal. So it's 2-1 Ottawa after 2 periods. The Sens obviously very successful after leading after 2 periods, but they did surrender the lead. Darnell Nurse scores on a beautiful tic-tac-toe, 3-on-1. No chance for Matt Murray on that one. It's his 7th career goal against Ottawa, the most he has against any team, which is crazy to think. A guy in the Western Conference, the most goals in his career against an East team. And yeah, say what you want about how they dominated last year in those 8 or 9 meetings. Then in overtime, with 48 seconds left, Tim Stutzle, after getting in a fight in the third period, gets his 8th goal of the year. Brady Tkachuk, another assist. Thomas Chabot, an assist. So multi-point games for Thomas Chabot and Brady Tkachuk, leading by example. Brady had another huge hit in this one against Chris Russell as well. And my final thought is about Brady Tkachuk. 14 games now without a goal, but in those games, he's got 55 shots on goal. So it's not for lack of trying. I think I'm going to guarantee it. Brady Tkachuk gets a goal tomorrow night on Long Island. Martian, your final thoughts.
His new average shots on goal is like 5.
I know. The easiest lock of the year.
Line
Over.
for anything more than 3 shots on goal for Brady Tkachuk, and you're a betting person, hit that all day. You're gonna make so much money.
Hammer.
Final thoughts again, just a gritty effort from a team that's super depleted right now. So this can only be good for the depth of the team and the culture of the team and just the vibes in general. Showing that they can win without 2 of their superstars, that's great. Like that's doing things that, like, you see teams like Pittsburgh where one of their big dogs is out and somebody else elevates and they're still able to win consistently. Well, now Ottawa's at the point where they have enough kind of young talent, I guess I'd call it. Sokolov again tonight, he didn't do.
He almost had a tap in. Almost had a tap in the third
always
period.
Gets his chances. So everything. You got to be happy in general. So, I just think that they're on the right track here, and got to be happy with wins like tonight against a team like the Oilers. Evander Kane, who
they had just won 4 straight games, guys. Like this Oilers team, it's not the same one that Ottawa saw 2 weeks ago in Edmonton. These guys had seemingly turned it around, but then they just got sensed tonight. That's just how it happens sometimes, Bill.
Sometimes you just get sensed.
Sometimes, man.
Yeah, you'll have to see a good sense happen. And Martian, my final thought is going to be very similar to yours. It's the elevating of these players' games, and more specifically Tim Stutzle. Like, how much extra cred does he get in the locker room now? A fight, an OT winner, and he's now playing number 1 center minutes in the NHL after only recently switching to being a centerman in general in the NHL. So for him to be able to say, all right, guys, no Norris, no Batherson, Brady can't seem to buy a goal. I'm putting this team on my back. And hell, I'll even do some things Brady does as well. I'll get in a fight here. I'll stand up for myself, and I'll come back and I'll finish things up when I'm all stitched up here. Did he get stitches? It looked like a decent cut. Probably not stitches, but
I
he
think
did. Damn.
Yeah.
So that's impressive for a young guy like Timmy to be able to find, seize that moment and really be the guy that the Senators needed him to be. So what an amazing game, and I cannot wait to watch this game tomorrow.
Tim Stutzle gets his first career NHL fight, his 20th career NHL goal, and his 5th game winner. The Ottawa Senators win 3-2, the final score on the back of Tim Stutzle and a 37-save performance from Matt Murray. Pilsy and I will get more in-depth on whether or not Matt Murray or Anton Forsberg should start the Sens finale before the All-Star break. Can they continue to stay hot? Can they make it 11-6-3 in the Postcast era? What needs to happen for that? We'll preview the game against the New York Islanders. Let's get some Go Sens Go in the chat on the way out, because this was an absolute beauty of a game and a bunch of beauties on the Postcast. Shout out at Levitan Martian, at Brandon Pillar 1. We appreciate it. And Pilsy's going to be, are you going to be back in Ontario soil when we record tomorrow, or is that next day?
I'll be in the air when we're doing the Postcast, and unfortunately I'm going to miss the Islanders game as well, but that's the way she goes when you're doing a cross-continental journey.
Well, Levitan Martian,
I'm going to cover you, Pilsy.
We got that all taken care of.
Can't leave these people hanging. Look at the chat still rolling here. So.
Absolutely.
Hey, it's just like the Sens. Next man up. Martian, you're stepping up. Love it.
I'm the Tim Stutzle of the Postcast. What can I say?
Love it.
The Ottawa Senators sweep the season series against the Edmonton Oilers. Damn, that sounds good to say after going 0-9-0 last year. The Senators emerged 2-0-0 this year against the Oilers. So stay tuned for more on tomorrow's Locked On Senators. Again, thank you everyone for being with us in the chat today. For at Levitan Martian and Brandon Pillar, I'm Ross Levitan. This has been the Postcast presented by the Locked On Senators podcast.